My name is Brian Ramos, and I'm a father and husband, a loving house of 3 little kids, and my wife kind of keeps it all together, to be honest with you. And I come in and out of the show from time to time. My children range in age from 9, 7, and all the way down to 4. My 4-year-old is my daughter named Kennedy. She's the youngest and the most rambunctious of the bunch. Jackson is my 7-year-old, who really towers in our home with his personality and love for his brother and sister and his mom and his dad. And then our oldest son is Carter Ramos. And Carter is 9 years old, and he is the spirit of our family, quietly. Carter is not one to make a lot of noise or big, huge personality in a room unless he knows you, to be completely honest, which then his personality shines through. But he's the spirit of our family because he's a fighter, big time. As a father with my first son, I wanted him to be the biggest, the strongest, the fastest of anything, because I saw myself in him. And that really hurt, because I'm learning as I get older now, of being a father to any child is one of the strongest bonds out. And when I couldn't do anything for him or saw him not being able to move, it really destroyed me, questioned my faith, big time. I think that's a really divine moment in between where you can find out really where you recall just times where things get really difficult, but then it creates a beautiful time too, where you know you have to step up as a father and as a provider and as a husband and lead the charge to get them on their way. UP was an organization that my wife found, Unlimited Possibilities, and when we walked through those doors, it gave me a sense of hope to realize that I'm bringing my child to professionals and therapists and people in this industry that I was never gonna plan to be a part of in my life. Not for the sense that I didn't have any care for it, it didn't impact my home. But the minute that it did with our first child, I wanted to do everything I could. So as soon as we found them in Irvine, it changed the trajectory of my son's life forever. My son was barely able to move, couldn't talk, couldn't do a lot of things, which is breaking, to say the least, as a parent. And he's doing incredible things now that I honestly want to say I couldn't see for him myself at the time. The way that UP provides hope is to families like mine that they serve all over the community. Being any parent of a special needs child is very difficult because you see typical children running around, whether they're your own in your own home, having other children like I do. It's very difficult to walk in this line because it's not one that anyone ever raises their hand and says, hey, I want to be dealt this card, right? But it brings together a really big band of people that UP has in their organization, all the way from the top, which is with Ramin, all the way through every physical therapist or person that works here. As a parent, all you want to do is just give your child a chance. That's it, nothing more. But UP gave me hope. And what it did is it provided me a place where I knew my son could thrive. And watching his progression pushed me even further as a father to just hold on to that, because I knew the minute that he'd be able to start talking and tell me he loved me too, which is one of the biggest goals I had, because he couldn't really talk for a long time. I'd talk to my son and coddle and give him my words, but to not hear him respond was very difficult, and for my wife and myself. And so those are a lot of things that UP provided me, which is invaluable. And to me, this is a place of where God's work comes to life. That's the best way that I could put it. When I walk through the doors at UP, or my family does, I know that's where His work really comes to life, because there's children being served like my son who are able to do things that prior to walking through those doors, they were maybe never able to do over time, which is the biggest blessing in the world to me.